What is going on, guys? DBG here, and I've got some exciting news for you guys. I've got some really exciting news, and honestly exciting news for myself, that we are going to be hearing next about MyTEAM news, lads. So, when is the MyTEAM news going to come? Well, how do I know this, first of all? And basically, we know this from 2K Intel page. So 2K Intel tweeted out, MyTEAM Community Europe next news we get is will be about MyTEAM. And in general, this was kind of what I expected. I'd said it was probably coming next week, because 2K22 was kind of a weird year, because it was the first time they were releasing 2 games to 1 gen, and everything was really late. Like, everything was delayed. The MyTEAM news was delayed. The Park news was delayed. I'm pretty sure we got MyGM news after the game, like, officially launched in Australia and New Zealand. Like, it was really weird. But always what the 2K used to do was, it was the gameplay blog, it was some version of single player. I think it was WNBA in 20, and it was my NBA or MyGM, and then they obviously will put out the MyTEAM one, and then the Park and My Career one is the last dev blog they release. So that's the way they've done it since NBA 2K20, and it seems like they're doing that again this year, and it was to be expected from everybody. So if you're saying, oh, is MyTEAM news coming tomorrow? No, the 2K never released news on Friday unless they like really have to. I just want to see, if we go to this time last week when 2K, they announced that whenever the Jordan news got announced, you can see here, 11th of August, this day last week, next news will be about the MyNBA mode. Hence, we saw the news with the MyNBA mode. And the MyNBA mode the news is incredible. So, lads, MyTEAM is obviously what's going to be the next news, which is going to be huge for myself, which is going to be huge for a lot of you guys, because at the end of the day, we are a MyTEAM channel here. Like, Park is, I'm going to say, as far as online game modes, MyTEAM, I would be interested to see. I think MyTEAM makes them their most money, but I think Park player-wise has more players. But as we're going to be talking about what we expect to see with that MyTEAM news. So if we look at last year's MyTEAM news, and I think 2K22, like from seeing what happened, I think it was an incredibly rushed game. I think because they had to develop 2K21 next gen and then have 2 gens going, develop 2 gens for the same time. I think in general, because of how much they like revamped the current gen version of 2K22, I think that this was a rushed game. And the reason why I say it's rushed is that limited and unlimited were the same, like the exact same. The draft mode wasn't really a draft mode, and I just don't think there was enough time put into the decisions that they made. I think that they made a lot of 50-50 calls at the start of the year, and like I've been very clear on it. I think there was a lot of 50-50 calls that were made, and I think they got every one of them wrong. Like, I think that this game launched terribly in NBA 2K22, and I stand by every little thing I said in the before the game. Obviously, I was initially optimistic about the draft, and then I realized it was going to be a random team mode. The draft is actually not that bad a mode to play. I just think that it's not a draft mode. You can't choose your team. So 2K kind of screwed up with that. This was one of MyTEAM most popular mode and a personal favorite. They ruined this game mode. Thankfully, they fixed it in some way at the end. The 100 concept needs to just be completely scrapped. Just scrap the 100. Like, the 100 concept literally doesn't matter. It's just 5 losses now. If you want to bring TTO to 5 losses with less ball drops for next year, I'm actually cool with that. But like, this is where I felt like it was really rushed, was that they like fixed the one mode that worked perfectly for most people. I think, like, obviously no modes are perfect, but then this pick up skill challenges was huge. This was absolutely huge. This was the biggest, like, I think the pickup challenge was pointless because it was just useless packs. But the skills challenges, I think, was one of the biggest new additions in the game. Event cards, gimmick, absolute BS. 250k tournaments, you know what, matters for 1% of the people. Hollows, gimmicks, grading gimmicks, shoe creator, I didn't mind it. So like, we look at last year's concept, and then we look at how last year ended with just end games and a lot of people really being pissed off. So do I think we see a complete overhaul in MyTEAM? I do. Like, there is no way that they change what they changed in MyNBA, the one game mode that doesn't make the money, and then keep MyTEAM the same. Because I actually think that the way 2K made MyTEAM this year was the least player friendly the mode has ever been. Like, I'm gonna say this right now, is that this is the least, until Clutch Time got released, I think this is the least people have wanted to play the game. And you might be saying, oh, I'm just saying that because I've got franchise fatigue. And that is very true. That is very true. And I'm not just talking about myself. Is that like, I have like a surprising to you guys, I actually have friends. A lot of them have played 2K and a lot of them would dip their toes into my team and play it a little bit. And these guys just have no interest this year. Nobody has any interest in playing this mode this year. Obviously during the pandemic is different. Everyone played during the pandemic, but I don't have a single friend that has any interest in playing this mode. Whereas other years, some of them did. They have played a little bit of the mode. They were building up their teams a little bit. Because every now and again, I get a friend messaging me being like, oh, what are good cards to use in this game mode? And that would happen every year without fail. Maybe I'm just getting older, but it did seem like the MyTEAM, nobody was interested in playing MyTEAM Unlimited because they were like, why would I play MyTEAM Unlimited? Because I need to get 53 games. Like, it was like a mountain. And this is what I complain about Unlimited, is that for the most people, if you ask people to climb over a couple of steps, they'll do it. And if you ask a bunch of people to climb up a bunch of steps one day and a bunch of steps the other day, a bunch of steps the other day, a bunch of steps the other day, and eventually they've climbed up enough that they climbed up the mountain, most people, maybe people would do that. But if you're asking people to start from zero and climb up a mountain in one go, which is basically I know 2K are going to say, oh, you had the whole season to do it, but it didn't feel like that. It did not feel like that. Like the amount of people that I know that are serious MyTEAM players that play zero unlimited games in a season is crazy. Limited was a bad mode. That's why I think it has to be overhauled. I can guarantee, because as far as I'm aware, the correlation between their back end numbers, and specifically my channel, because it's so much news based, it's so much based on how people play the game, there is a direct correlation between how many views, and I'm not just even going to say specifically me, myself, Ty get, and how the game's going. Obviously, likes of Henry and stuff, we're more entertainment channels. Even when the game's dead, they can boom. But for the likes of the news channels, how many views we specifically get does correlate with how the game is going on. So I think this was a big time down year, 2K22 for my team. I think that there was initial hype in the end games. I don't think that this concept worked. I don't think this concept probably worked as intended towards the end of the year. So I can see, obviously, I think this is going to happen towards the end of the year. I do. But what I see coming is I see a revamped Unlimited mode. Whether it's called Unlimited or not, I don't know. I think it's going to be completely revamped. I think we see MyTEAM Limited. I do actually think we see MyTEAM Limited in this game. I don't think we see a weekend league. As much as everyone wants to talk about a weekend league, I actually think that we don't see it. I think we see skills challenges. I think we see a revamped Unlimited and Limited, maybe renamed. The worst thing 2K can do is rename Unlimited and Limited and make them the same. Like that'll be the worst thing they can do. But considering the fact that they literally took 2 months off giving us everything, like the last actual grindable content that came during the middle of the season, lads, it was Spotlight Sims. Spotlight Sims. The 1st of June. 3 months. 3 months without a mid-season, anything to grind in the middle of the season. Sorry, we had a couple of players on Wednesdays. The last time we had an actual grind to do, 3 months before launch of this game. So they got to be doing something. They have to have been doing something other than just releasing a couple of, that's not end games, that's Pat Burke. By the way, Pat Burke, the GOAT, why he didn't get a Dark Matter, I don't know. Instead of just releasing these cards, like I just don't really get what they had done. The only logic of what they have, of this whole Season 8 and Season 9, the only logic is that 2K23 is going to be a great game. Like, if 2K23 is a great game, all will be forgiven. That's the logic. It makes perfect sense if they spend all the time on that and they just want to release cards. Then I'm still salty, but I'll still be a little bit pissed off at this whole situation, but it'll be more understandable. So I'm not expecting a new mode, by the way. I'm expecting a new card tier, because 2K every second year changed the card tiers. It's not going to be long until every one overall has a new card tier. I think there's going to be a new card tier. I think Grading stays. I think Hollows stay. I think Shoe Lab stays. I think MyTEAM Unlimited and Limited get renamed and revamped. I think TTO stays. It's not going to be called TTO to 100. It's going to be called probably TTO or TTO Classic. I think Triple Threat Offline stays. I think Skills Challenges stay. I think Pickup Challenges stay. I think the way they've done Spotlight Challenges stay. And I don't know. Obviously, how the game is day one does not mean crap for how the game will end up being. I just can't. If they launch with a very similar day one to NBA 2K22, especially when you could read that. One thing I actually think is not going to happen. I think the draft might go. I think the draft might be on. I genuinely think the draft might not exist. Like, that is my bold prediction, is that the draft won't exist. I think if we see a new mode, the draft is gone. That is my theory. If we see a brand new game mode, as in if we see a weekend league type mode, the draft is what's going to be gone. If we see a competitive MyTEAM mode and a casual MyTEAM mode, I think the draft is what's going to be sacrificed. Because that is by far the least played game mode in MyTEAM. Sometimes you're searching 25 minutes for a game on PS5. It's mad. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. Obviously, MyTEAM news coming soon. That's just my predictions for what I think is going to be coming. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.